Hello everyone and welcome to Farm Bureau's Voices of Agriculture. This week coming to you from the state of Mississippi. On the show this time, we visit the farms of the finalists for the 2013 Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Awards. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Every year, more and more consumers are taking advantage of the bounty of products grown by farm families of Mississippi.
It's important to me that I feed my family affordable, wholesome produce. We're blessed that in the U.S., we pay only a fraction of our income for much better quality food than other countries. I know I'm feeding my family healthy meals and saving money.
The farm families of Mississippi, feeding Mississippi and the world.
Each year, young farmers from across the state have the opportunity to win fabulous prizes in the Young Farmer Achievement Award contest. This year, 6 finalists were named, and the judging panel spent a good bit of time getting to know the finalists and learning about their operation. So why don't we do the same thing? Let's meet the finalists for the 2013 Mississippi Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award. Our first finalists are Judd and Casey Davis from the Longshot community near Cleveland. The Davises operate a 2,600-acre rice and soybean farm in the Mississippi Delta.
I've been farming personally, I guess you could say all my life. Ever since I was old enough to go with my dad, I've been going with my dad, and I think about the age of 13, I was able to start just driving equipment by myself, and I've taken off from there. I've spent all my summers through junior high, high school, and college coming home and working on the farm, and I enjoy it. I love it. This is what I was meant to do, I think.
Casey is a stay-at-home mom who is fairly new to the rural lifestyle.
My wife is from Senatobia, Mississippi, and she had never been on a farm ever before she met me. This was quite the culture shock for her to have to come back and deal with farming. Her parents both worked 9-to-5 jobs, 5 days a week, and it took some adapting, but she's done quite well to come around to be a farmer's wife.
Judd says that the biggest issue he faces in growing row crops is the cost of inputs.
The commodity prices go up, but so do the input costs. Everything goes up accordingly. Nothing really changes on the net profit end of it. So it gets to be a very tight margin of error. You add in weather and different diseases, crop diseases and things like that. When row crop, it's a very small margin of error to begin with, and then you add in inflated input costs, and it really gets to be tricky. You got to watch what you're doing very closely.
Judd states that he has to stay on top of the technology advances in agriculture because not everyone on the farm does.
My father is behind us cutting rice. And if you'll notice, he's on the oldest combine that we have, and he refuses to sell that because he says that he's a dinosaur and he's going to ride a dinosaur. He's not going to change. We get the newer equipment because he says that he's used to the older equipment, and that's where he's going to stay at. I've been a Bolivar County board member now for several years. I attend meetings regularly. I try to do the best I can is to be active on any situation where I need to be there. I make sure that I am there, and I try to voice my opinion where my opinion I feel is necessary.
The Davises have 3 children, 4-year-old Caroline, Amelia, who is 2, and Walker, who just turned 1. Our next finalist is Carla Taylor from Boonville. Carla and her husband run a dairy farm in Prentiss County.
We are Taylor Jersey Farm. My husband and I, along with his parents here, milk registered jerseys. We milk about 110 with right now probably about close to 20 due to calve within the next 2 months. We have about 125 young stock from baby calves on up to bred heifers.
As with most dairy farms, the days are long and there's always something to do.
We, of course, start with our morning chores. We milk at about 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the evening. Of course, we do our milking, we feed the calves, wash up, and then there's always something going on, whether it's heifers that need vaccinating, a new addition to our freestall barn, the new calf barn we're working on. There's always something that'll fit into those in-between hours of what are just our normal daily chores.
The Taylors chose to raise Jersey cows for a number of reasons.
Their disposition and the many benefits that they have. You know, they're a smaller cow, they are heat tolerant, they're more efficient. Their efficiency conversion of their feed conversion is a huge factor why a lot of dairymen are switching to Jerseys these days. And here lately there's been a lot of research come out that they actually have a smaller carbon footprint, which in today's day and age is huge. In a lot of areas where it's more populated, say California and a lot of the Idaho, the larger dairy states, but that also translates to being a big advantage here in Mississippi.
To help save on feed costs, the Taylors have started mixing their own feed.
Right now we have 3 different commodities out there that we're putting in with our grain mix that comes from our feed mill. Cottonseed, cotton hulls, and corn gluten, and then we have another mineral mix that we use as well. And we work closely with our nutritionists. We have a dairy nutritionist that looks at our forages and pays attention to the markets and helps us work through and sort through what's going to be the best options for our dairy.
One of the things that Carla loves to do is to talk to non-farm people about farming when she's at the state fair.
Whenever I go to a function or public event like that, I always try to take material with me that is educational, that is produced and paid for by the milk checkoff dollars or dairy checkoff dollars. Every day, multiple people a day will come through, oh, there's a cow. I've never seen a cow before. I've never touched a cow. So we always have at least one cow there that's just a big old pet that won't move, even if a bomb went off beside her. And you can take these people up to this cow, a grown cow, and let them pet her and touch her and talk to them about where their milk comes from and what all we as farmers do to make sure that's safe, the process that it goes through from here to their breakfast table. And then at the same time, we also have the opportunity to dispel any myths they might have heard about agriculture or dairy products or whatnot.
The Taylors have 3 boys. Lee is 7, 5-year-old Carl, and Holden, who is 3. Our next finalists are Chris and Missy McGlawn from the Swifttown community in Humphreys County. The McGlawns run a catfish and row crop operation.
Well, what we raise is a hybrid catfish, which is a cross between a channel and a blue cat. Normally we start somewhere in the mid-March to early April, depending on how the weather is reacting. That's when we start out stocking, and we use a 7-inch fish at the smallest, and we usually stock around 8,500 to 9,000 head per acre. You know, we start them out there, you know, they steadily grow throughout the season.
And why we chose to raise hybrids versus a channel cat is they say that hybrids are not as susceptible to diseases and they grow faster, where traditionally it would take us almost 2 years to grow a channel cat out. We get these off in 8 months.
A regular channel cat takes anywhere between 18 to 24 months from the time it's put in the water. With the hybrid, we can put in the spring and sell out that fall.
So we single crop every year.
Missy takes charge of feeding the fish every day.
I come to the fish farm and I turn tractors off. Around 10:30 I start, I feed the catfish every day. I don't have a set amount of pounds that I feed a day. I just go along with the fish. I can tell how they're acting, or they tell me when they're full.
The McGlawns are in the process of converting some of their ponds into a split pond system.
I took 3 traditional 12-acre ponds and turned the front end of the pond into 3 2-acre ponds. Then they have a partition that runs down through the middle of them, and we have a screw pump in each pond that transfers 10,000 gallons per minute of water. And all the fish are in each 2-acre pond, basically considered a holding area. And what we use the rest of the water for in the back of the pond is considered a waste treatment. The water stays a lot cleaner. It does not get the algae, the bloom buildup in it.
Chris also runs a custom seining business.
We take a 10-foot net and we custom harvest the ponds and get the fish out and sent to the processors. At the peak of the industry, I covered around 3,000 acres of water, all the way far south as Yazoo City to as far north as Clarksdale. And I think the best year I've ever had, we harvested around 15 million pounds. And you know, up to today, you know, the catfish industry has gotten a little bit smaller. So we're down to probably around 2,000 acres of water that we cover.
In 2010, they decided to start row crop farming.
We started out our first year basically farming just corn and soybeans. A little challenging the first year, getting used to everything, learning a new business, but been very successful in it over the past few years. Learned a lot, made a lot of changes on our operation from where we started. I'm trying to keep up with the commercial land forming business. I do commercial land forming, so I run 2 tractors all the time, and I have a third that when I have time, I go run it. So we run a 24-yard bucket and a 17-yard, and I run the 20-foot Namco finish scraper. They're all equipped with a GPS control system.
This is my passion. This is what I truly, besides being a mother, that I think, this is what I love to do. We started this 7 years ago together, and this was our first business that we started, and this is our life. I wouldn't do anything else. I'm proud to be a catfish farmer, and we love it.
The McGlawns have 2 children, 7-year-old Reese and Anna Rivers, who is 6. We'll be back to visit the rest of the finalists right after these messages.
Being a farmer means a long day and an even longer list of jobs to be done.
When people ask me why I'm a farmer, the answer is easy. I want to be one of the people that provides your family and mine with a good, safe food supply. My animals are a large investment to me and my family. It makes good business sense that they're healthy and well cared for. And it's the right thing to do.
The Farm Families of Mississippi, feeding Mississippi and the world.
And welcome back to Voices of Agriculture. We're visiting with the finalists of the 2013 Mississippi Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award. Here are the rest of the finalists. Our next finalists this year are Matt and Carrie Edgar from Benton. The Edgars run a beef cattle and row crop operation in Yazoo County.
This is originally my mom's parents' place, and I took it over when my grandfather decided to quit fooling with cattle, and I've been here ever since. We run a beef cattle operation of mostly Brangus and Angus cattle. All of them are fall calving cattle. We calve out in about a 45-day period, and about 2/3 of our land is permanent Bermuda grass pasture, and the other third is used to plant ryegrass for winter grazing.
The row crop operation consists of about 1,400 acres of corn, soybeans, and wheat.
Mostly beans are rotated behind wheat, and our row crop operation is pretty much all in the Delta. We still farm about 250 acres in the hills here, and our row crop is scattered out all over Yazoo County. And we have about 400 acres of irrigated cropland, and the balance of our cropland is dry land.
Matt says one of the biggest challenges he's facing as a farmer is keeping enough land to farm.
Every year, the farmland values and rental values are going up, and you have to just be more and more competitive on what you pay for rent, and it's getting real challenging because we have to have a really good budget and know where we stand to know what we can pay for our rental property, and to be able to keep enough land to farm. Obviously there's no more land being made, so we have to try to make do the best with what we have.
Matt's been involved with Farm Bureau for many years, including being on the YF&R State Committee.
I think Farm Bureau is great. My granddaddy got me involved with Farm Bureau and on the board, and we think it's great. It's helped me and my wife out a lot. We've met a lot of people that we wouldn't have met had it not been through Farm Bureau. Some of my best friends right now we've met through the YF&R program that we never would have met. It's not as many young people in farming anymore in our county here, and so it helped us reach out to other places in the state and find people that had similar interest to us to go and do things with and to get involved with.
Carrie is a registered mammographer, and the couple has 2 sons, Adam, who is 7, and 3-year-old Wyatt. Next, we have Adam and Lori Steele from Magnolia, Mississippi. The Steeles operate a poultry farm in Pike County.
I grow chickens, and our target weight is 8.75 in 63 days. And normally, here lately, for the last year and a half, I've done over that, about a 9.2 pound bird for average weight. We go through a lot of feed, corn and soybeans and all.
Adam is a first-generation farmer, having purchased 4 poultry houses 3 years ago on land near where he and Laurie grew up.
We have $21,000 per house right now. It'd be $84,000 total. Usually during the wintertime, we'll go up to $22,500 in each house. With the heat in the summer, they kick them back a little bit, so it isn't so packed in there.
The farm he purchased was not in operating condition, so the Steels had to install new curtains, add more cool cells, a new alarm system, new nipple drinkers and regulators, and new 54-inch fans were added to each house. All of this and much more was added for the comfort of the birds.
We keep them inside for climate control because, I mean, when it's 30 degrees outside, you know, we have to keep them, when they're 1 day old, we got to keep them 90. I think they got it made the whole time they're here because, I mean, they got all the feed they can eat, all the water they can drink, and temperatures are perfect, you know, 24/7, and alarms going off if it's not.
Adam thinks it would be great to expand and raise even more birds.
Eventually, probably building 2 more. I actually have 5 acres right in the field there, or, you know, enough room to build 2 more. We've talked about even purchasing my father-in-law's farm because he's getting close to 60 years old and all, getting ready to retire, and it's on family land, so it'd be pretty much, I need to buy it.
In addition to the poultry houses, the Steels have 35 acres of pine trees that will one day provide some income. Laurie is a lab tech at the local clinic, and when she has time, she and the kids enjoy coming out to see the chickens.
They do come and help. They love coming to help. They think they helping big time, so which is good. So good quality time because I spend a lot of time up here, so instead at home.
The Steels have 2 boys, 5-year-old Slade and Sawyer, who is 3. Our last finalist is Matt Hudson from Wiggins. Matt raises cattle and soybeans on his farm in Stone County.
The cattle operation I started several years ago with just a few calves and worked up to give me some mama cows, and over the last 4 or 5 years been able to work up to about 125 mama cows, and we've put them on a controlled breeding program where we have them on a 90-day calving, a spring calving period, and that's worked out really good. My folks never had any interest in farming at all. When I got out of high school, I had an opportunity to go to work for a man that had some cattle. He called me one day and asked me if I could take care of some for him, and I told him, you know, I never had much, but I'd like to, and he said, well, I got a whole load of baby Holstein calves I need raised on a bottle. Can you do that? And I said, well, anything to do with a cow, I was interested. So I went to work for him, and he told me that he only needed me for about 6 or 8 weeks, and I stayed with him almost 7 years, and he had to go on and do something different. That's where I got my mama cow herd started, and then I had opportunity to buy the place where I live now. We've been able to just stay at it and grow.
In 2012, Matt decided he wanted to get into the soybean business.
I used some of my ground that we had always run calves on and planted about 100 acres of soybeans, and that worked good. The beans cut good. I was really pleased with how that went, and this year we're going to sell the calves straight off of the cows in October, and I planted about 400 acres of beans this year.
Last year, Matt was featured in one of the Farm Families of Mississippi TV spots that ran statewide promoting agriculture.
I used best management practices to minimize soil erosion. It was unbelievable. I'd heard some people talk about the Farm Families of Mississippi before. I had never seen the actual commercial myself, and I was fortunate enough for them to ask me to be on the commercial. And once I was on there, everywhere you stopped, somebody said, hey, wasn't that you on that commercial? And it was unbelievable, the number of people that actually, saw it and, paid attention to what they were, to what the advertisement was about.
It goes without saying that to farm for a living, you have to love your work.
There's never a day I get up and dread going to work. I enjoy it every day. It's a lot of long, hot hours. Hot, cold, a lot of aggravation, but it's all worth it in the end.
Matt's a newlywed. His wife, Amanda, is a loan officer with Southern Ag Credit. And those are the nominees for the 2013 Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award. We'll be back with the announcement of the winner right after this timeout. Stay with us.
The safety of our food is something we take for granted, and there are inspections that guarantee the food we put on our dinner tables is safe. Always read country of origin labels to ensure that fish, seafood, or produce is grown in the U.S., preferably Mississippi.
The health of your family is important. Be an informed consumer. Be sure you purchase safe, nutritious food products.
The Farm Families of Mississippi, growing safe, nutritious food.
We have visited all the finalists for the 2013 Mississippi Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award. But before we see who won the award, let's take a look at the prize package that the winner receives. I think you'll agree it's a very generous one, and it's one of the best prize packages in the country for this achievement award. The winner receives a full-size pickup truck, courtesy of Southern Farm Bureau Casualty Insurance Company, $500 cash, courtesy of Ford, 100 hours use of a John Deere tractor, 250 hours use of a Kubota tractor, $1,800 towards the purchase of technology from the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and an all-expense-paid trip to the American Farm Bureau Federation Convention representing Mississippi in the National Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award competition. So let's find out the winner of the 2013 Mississippi Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award.
Your 2013 Mississippi Farm Bureau Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award winner is
Matt and Carrie Edgar, Region 5.
I don't know what to say. This is the biggest achievement of my life. And first and foremost, I want to thank God for all the many blessings of my family and the opportunity to be a farmer, because I think some days that my job is just terrible by the time I get home at night and I'm wore out and got to start thinking about the next day. But then I think about that I am my own boss every day. And the many people that would like to farm and don't have the opportunities. And me and my family have been blessed just overwhelmingly. And I know that there have been times in my life where that I had to rethink whether I wanted to be a farmer or not. And I've prayed about it, and I know that this is where I was supposed to be, because there's times that, I don't know if y'all saw one of those slides earlier about the flood of 2011. That was the worst year of my life in farming. And that was a year that I had to really pray and rely on my family's strength and to get along. But I know that this is where we're supposed to be, and this is a great blessing for us, and I'm very humbled and thankful for this. I thank Farm Bureau. As I said on our video, my grandfather, he started bringing me to the board meetings before I was even on the board, and somehow or another they put me on and took him off all about the same time when he got older. So I guess I was meant to follow in his footsteps. Both of my sets of grandparents have really pushed me into farming when I was younger, and like I said, it was some days that I just didn't know, but my family is always behind me, and my wife and my kids love it just as much as I do. My kids would like to skip school every day and be out there with me. Matter of fact, we have a knockdown drag out every morning because they're going to go with Daddy that day. But, I mean, this is something we really enjoy. We've enjoyed being with Farm Bureau on this YF&R that we've done in the past. And I'm thankful for everybody here. I'm thankful for my family and my wife that supported me all through this. And it's a great blessing. Thank you.
Congratulations to Matt and Kim. That's all the time we have for this edition of Voices of Agriculture. We hope you've enjoyed the show and will be with us again next time. For all of us here at the Mississippi Farm Bureau, thanks for watching.